No strain on the computer. Hello again, this is Jennifer. I'm live streaming from Longwood, Florida, and hoping that if you can hear me, you can put it in chat so that I know that you can hear me. It is Sunday at 5:03, and I'll be getting started here shortly. All right. Hi, I see I have a viewer. I'm just asking for your help. I do have a microphone on, so you should be able to hear me, but if you can hear me or if you hear an echo, if you can just post it in chat so that I know how the sound is. I had a little bit of echoing issues last night, and I just want to make sure you can hear me clearly. I would appreciate it. Hello. Thanks. All right, awesome. Well, welcome. Happy New Year. If I didn't say it or text you or shout it from the rooftops, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2020. Yay. And thanks for joining me, everybody. I so appreciate it. So the whole point of the live stream is to help alleviate some of the editing that I've been doing. And at some point, maybe during the year, I'll kind of explain what's been going on with me last year. I know you've seen a ton of posts. You've seen a ton of, social media posts and some videos and blog posts, and I'm all over the place. And it's been getting a little bit overwhelming, but I'm just going to run through. This is 2019, Jennifer, here in review for Artistic Surf. If you're not familiar, Artistic Surf is just the website. It's the storefront for my art business. It's really it's my hobby. I just kind of put it out there to sell for fun because I kind of got a little bit tired of just coming home, sitting down and not getting out and doing things. I guess once the girls left, I just kind of got a little bit lazy. So this is something fun for me to do, put my art out there. And 2019 was the second year that I've done this. So I'm still very new at putting my art out for people to see. And so for this year, 2019, I did some art walks. So if you're not familiar, you may have heard me talk about a million times, in which case I'm sorry, not sorry. I did Lake Mary's Wine Art Wednesdays, which is so much fun. They have live music, and there's other artists out there. There's lots of restaurants in the area and some really nice people that I've been able to meet. I sold some of my first pieces out at Lake Mary, so I'm very just attracted to the people in that area because it's nostalgic for me, because it's my first show and the first place I sold something, and that was just really awesome. And I also have done Baldwin Park's First Friday Art Walk, which they keep me on a waiting list, and it pops up every once in a while. And when the availability comes, as long as it lines up with my schedule, then I go and do one of their shows. I did St. Patrick's Day last year, and that was awesome. There were a ton of people. I sold some work, and I guess the main thing I learned this year about art walks and festivals is it's less about what you do at the show and more about meeting people. For me, getting comfortable talking to people. Even if you're in my own family, I just really don't talk that much. I probably talk more at work than anywhere else. I just, for whatever reason, have trouble just keeping up conversations. But this has really helped kind of bring me out of my shell, get me talking to people. And even then, there's some days when I really have to force it and, walk back through the night mentally and think, maybe this is the reason people didn't interact with me as much as I would have liked, because I was too busy painting and wasn't spending enough time talking to people and finding out what they wanted. So it's been really good for me to do those little art walks, and they're a lot of fun. So that's really cool. I also did Artoberfest in Winter Springs. If you're not familiar, every year Winter Springs does a fine arts festival. And as far as the arts festivals go around here, it's smaller, it's a little less expensive, it's a good place for me to get my feet wet, and it is a fine art festival. It's not an arts and crafts festival. That was a lot of fun, and that was towards the end of 2019, and that's really the first time people came out that I hadn't met in person, but they've seen me online. We met in art groups or, you know, other places online, on Facebook, and it was so nice to put a face with someone that I've been chatting with, and just totally fun. That was I think the coolest thing about the art stuff all year. It's not about as much about selling as it is about making connections. I also did a lot at Kaleidoscope Gallery, and they are apparently no longer doing their every Saturday art shows. So they're changing their platform a little bit, which is why I need to change what I'm doing for next year, because I counted on those All Things Art shows and the yearly Beaches and Oceans show, just knowing they're going to be there and that I can be a part of that. And that's also been a great place for me to meet other artists. If you're an artist, I highly recommend that you take the time to find places to meet with other artists. But that was a really good experience for me. I really enjoyed it. So this year, I cannot tell you how many platforms I was on, and I think I oversaturated my brain and my computer and probably my husband. Sorry, Steve. But I was on, I was on Facebook. I started a Facebook group. I'm on Etsy, which isn't social media, but you can do social media through Etsy. Instagram. I did get on Snapchat, and I have since gotten off of Snapchat because I found no benefit for myself. And it's just one more thing I don't want to do. Of course, there's the Facebook and Instagram stories, which is something different than just sending stuff through Instagram. And at the end of the year, I got on TikTok, which I didn't even know what it was 2 months ago. So I thought it was, it looks like a really cool platform. There are a lot of artists on there, so it's really neat to see what they're doing. And it's just a great way to meet people and just kind of get the word out about the artwork that I'm doing and what's going on over here. So I guess my biggest thing for 2019 was my online presence. So I have this goal of selling artwork when I retire, and I want to sell it online. I want to be able to either travel or go hang out at the beach or, you know, wherever I am painting, and just being known just enough that people will trust that what they see online of my artwork is going to be beautiful, prettier in person than what they see online. I'd like them to be a little bit familiar with me so that people have confidence in me and my artwork, so that they can order, so that I don't have to be in a storefront necessarily, and I don't have to constantly be out at festivals and things, because, you know, when I retire, I may not feel like sitting out in 100-degree heat in August in Florida waiting for a hurricane to come. Just saying, I may not want to do that. Maybe you do. Not sure that I do. Okay, so working on my online platform, Etsy, right? Sell on Etsy. It's an Etsy. It's a marketplace. It'll be easy. I thought it's out there. Hello, hi. Good to see you, Vulcan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Etsy is not as easy as I thought it would be, and I am not afraid of hard work. But getting traffic, getting people familiar with your stuff, it's a little bit harder than I expected. YouTube. So I have YouTubed in the past. This year I've tried to be really consistent and putting out a video a month, because I work full-time in IT. And I do painting on the weekends and at night, sometimes in the morning before work for fun, because I enjoy it. And I can't put out a YouTube video every week and have it edited because, number one, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Number two, I'm gonna want to learn all the technology and not just throw something out there. And number three, it's fun and I have so many ideas. I have a ton of video that I haven't even edited together to put out there. And I've gotten one every month for 10 out of the 12 months. I did check. So I was really proud of myself for that. But I kind of want to take a step back from constantly editing video and just see if I can just prepare some stuff to talk about and show stuff to you without editing it. And hopefully the year or two of experience I have with this will help me to be a little bit more prepared up front to show you everything I need in one sitting, so I don't have to spend a half a day recording stuff and then the rest of the week editing it. So hopefully I'll be able to do that and maybe put some stuff out there so you can kind of see the process, because I got to be honest with you, before I was doing this myself and seeing artists out at markets, I didn't ever consider the time that goes into everything that they do, not just doing the artwork, but setting up for a show and prints. It's not just printing prints, it's not just your ink and paper, it's the time to put everything together, and all that stuff takes a lot of time. There's really a lot more involved than I realized, and I enjoy the process, but there was a lot more to it. I'd love to share it with you. If you're interested, I know there's a lot of young people who are interested in selling their art, and what's so funny is it's been 2 years, which isn't that long, but I still have people who haven't put their stuff out there yet or are really interested in getting started asking me questions, and I certainly didn't think I'd be a voice of experience this early on, but if I just share my journey, then maybe that'll help you out. Okay, so blogging. So I have blogged for years, and if you remember, I started off just blogging about my life in general, life with teenagers. Then I blogged about my food and my diet, sorry. And then now I'm blogging about art, surfing, and our camping trips, and I think those all kind of go together because I love to surf, and most of the art that I do involves surfing, if you can't tell from what you see behind me. And a lot of our camping trips revolve around the beach, surfing, and just being outdoors. And I do a lot of painting when I'm out there, and it's going to cross over. And I know there's a lot of people, especially if you're my age, which I'm not going to tell you what that is, you have to guess, but if you like to go out camping, or you're at a point in your life where you've got a lot of vacation time, you like to go out and do stuff, and then you want to come home and remember it and be like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of the waves of Nicaragua, right? Or for me, this girl behind me reminds me of being at the beach with my family, because I got the inspiration after a family surf day. And those are the kind of memories that I want to bring and that I want to help you bring home through my artwork, and that's kind of where the connection fits. So I am going to continue to try to blog as much as I can. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. So I was thinking once a week, then I'm like, no, that's too much. So I'm going to try and step it up to twice a month. If I get more than that in there, awesome. If I only get once a month, that's fine, but twice a month is the goal. This year I also started a newsletter, and I'm trying to keep it simple, trying to send it out only once a month. And the newsletter is basically just to let people know where I'm going to be, the events that I'm going to be taking a part of, and any works that I have coming up. If you want to get a sneak peek, if you want to see it before everybody else, then go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. And I put that out once a month, and I actually gave everybody a break, and I didn't put one out for December. I think we all got enough email, and I just sent out like some advertisements. I had a little sale in December. It was my first sale, so that was fun. But those are the things I've been doing online, so I'm going to try and figure out where I can pare back without completely getting rid of all of my online work. Okay, also, if you are an artist, you know what this is like. You watch videos and watch coaches, and I've connected with so many online coaches for how to YouTube, how to Etsy, how to do an art business, how to be a better artist, how to market your art, how to do art festivals. And I think I've overloaded my brain a little bit with all of the how-tos. And so I'm going to try and step back and spend a little bit more time painting and a little less time learning, and only seek out something if I need it in that moment and not just binge watch YouTube. So I think that's a good thing for me to do this year. And maybe if you had that problem last year, maybe this is the year to step back a little bit and just focus on yourself more, and just maybe look up stuff that you need instead of looking up everything possible. I love to research, and it's a blessing and a curse. And well, I feel like I had one more thing for 2019, but I didn't write it down. So that's it for 2019. And I am sorry, if you're in my Facebook VIP art group, I cannot see your chat. So you can leave a question or a comment in there, and I'll get back to you later when the live stream is over. Everyone else, I should be able to see your chats. So if you have a question, if there's anything you're interested in me talking about during the year, I'll be happy to do that. And I said I'm going to keep these videos about 20 to 30 minutes over the next 8 weeks, just to kind of give an update. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm working on. So before I sign off, I wanted to give you an idea of what I was thinking about changing for 2020. If the microphone's making too much noise, I know I have a tendency to hit it. I'm sorry. Just let me know and I'll correct it. All right, goals for 2020. Looking into new shows, because there have been some changes and I know I want to get out there a little bit more and just figure out what exactly it is, where I feel the most comfortable. I was really excited about doing art shows and festivals, but let's face it, this is Florida, and with the hurricane season the way it is, it's up and down, and is that really what I want to do? Yes and no. So I'm looking at some other ideas, some other shows that might be available, maybe putting my art up in some shops or restaurants or something. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to be looking into it. And that takes more getting outside of my comfort zone and talking to people that I don't already know in order to make that happen. So that's something I'm going to start working on for 2020. I already told you I'm going to be increasing the blog level, hopefully. Obviously, I can talk and I have a lot to say. I just don't always say it. So for whatever reason, I'm more comfortable in the written word format, or maybe on YouTube, because YouTube's my friend. Just saying. Okay. I will be live streaming every week for the next 8 weeks. Fingers crossed it goes well. And I have enough to say. We have some things to talk about. Maybe you guys have some questions that you want answered. And then the most important thing for me, and I don't have my sketchbook, I was going to bring that out, is to art daily. So one of the reasons for the weekly streaming is to kind of hold me accountable to arting daily. Now, it's really easy as a full-time employee, you know, come home from work, sit on the couch and relax and just forget the day and say, oh, I would love to paint, but I don't feel like it. I've got to cook dinner. I've got to do whatever, you know, or I don't want to do anything, which has been my fall. I don't want to do anything. But I don't want that to be me. I've gotten better. My art has progressed a lot. I've been really excited about the strides I've made the last 2 years because I've been doing so much art, and I want to continue to improve. And one way to do that is to art daily. So I gave myself a goal and a reminder. And even if it's just 15 minutes of sketching in my sketchbook. And I find a lot of times I sit down with a little bit of artist block and I sit there and I just, well, I don't want to draw my feet while I'm sitting on the couch. I've done that. Well, I don't want to draw the TV. I don't know what to draw. So I actually went to a website. It's a watercolor website. I'll have to come up with it later. And they have topics for watercolor or sketching. So I'm using those if I don't have any ideas of my own in order to sketch in my sketchbook. Sometimes I color it in, sometimes I don't. I bought a couple of watercolor sketchbooks to kind of keep me busy. It doesn't have to be something new every day. It just needs to be something every day. And the evenings is the best time for me. So that's kind of what I've got going on there. So I can recap that for you if you'd like. Hello everyone. I see there's more people popping on, and I'm sorry, this is a short live stream, so we're about at the tail end of it, but I went over my 2019 and I'm going into my 2020, which was looking for new art shows and things to be a part of. Things maybe way out of my comfort zone that I wanted to do last year but just didn't do. Increasing my blogging, and a good portion of that is to just kind of get some web traffic coming to my website. My website's artisticsurf.net. I'm going to be live streaming every Sunday afternoon, if this time works for everyone. 5 p.m. and 20 to 30 minutes is the goal. I mean, if we end up having to do longer, that's fine, but we'll just kind of see what happens. And then arting daily, sketching, watercolor. I paint with acrylics and watercolors, and that's it for me. So I do not have my topic for next week. So I'm hoping to have a topic every week to discuss and let you know what's going on. But I can tell you my plans. So I have this lovely painting over here, and it's done, but it still needs to be varnished, and there is a signature on it. So that's next. And then up here you might see it's a Little Mermaids that I did for my daughter Taylor, and I took some pictures of it and the coloring was really off, so I've got to take some more photographs to get some good prints out of that, and then we'll see what's coming next. So I did get about halfway through my Surfer Girl series in 2019, but I have to go. I have a goal of 10 paintings, and it didn't seem like a lot, but with other stuff that came up in between, I only got about halfway through. So I'm looking forward to getting those done and posted online, and maybe even create a few more speed painting videos. So if you're interested in looking at my speed painting videos, they are posted on YouTube, and I've been uploading them onto my website as well, so you can view them there. It'll take you to the YouTube videos. And that is it for tonight. And the intro is going to change a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going to add something to it. So if you have any ideas for me, let me know. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you later. See you next Sunday. Bye. Da, 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 da.